Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Ray the Flying Squirrel here. And I'm Mighty the Armadillo here, welcome you all back for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos as always. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Nintendo Wii / Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D for the Nintendo 3DS. So last time we've essentially did manage to win through the first half of the Forms of World 6, which appears to be the Cliff World, and we did the actual beginning portion of the world, not too shabby for the most part. The only time exception being is of course the sticky situation alongside with the Forms of Boulder Roller levels. Well, that's just because about the Forms of that particular puzzle pieces hunting. So as a result, we did somehow manage able to do those levels kind of decently. So either way, that's just the beginning portion of the world as far as I can definitely notice from the start. So today for this video is about the fact that we're most able to finish up the rest of the Forms of the Cliff world by going through the next level in this world before we take on the boss. That's what appears to be Buddy Forms of Crumbling Canyon, I think is what it says anyway. So obviously the entire level like this is going to be filled to the brim with crumbling platforms, and it's your job to able to just get the heck out of it before you fall off and plummet to your death. So yeah, you can definitely see why about the fact that this world is going to be really tough, especially concerning of all that. A lot of obstacles is almost trying to throw you off. And on top of all that stuff though is about the fact that it will drain your lives very fast if you're not careful, which I've already on about that ever since on Monday. So either way though, because chances are, yeah, you expect able to die a lot in this stage. So, but either way though, hopefully we're not going to have too much trouble as far as this is concerned. And in fact there was actually a bonus area just right over there. Yeah, because you can definitely see what that particular hole over there, and in addition to that, the actual skull barrel that you can able to obviously hop into. So, and that way we can easily manage to able to complete this easy trampoline bonus area, so we can potentially try to get that next puzzle piece right here. So speaking of puzzle pieces though, in Crumbling Canyon, I can assure you it does manage to contain 9 of them. So yeah, just like the Forms of how it does in Sticky Situation, that's for sure. So anyway, let's just go ahead and blow some of these flowers to get ourselves the banana coin right there. And this particular scene right there, like we go for the Forms of some very structure-like bones and stuff, it does kind of reminds me like the Elephant Graveyard vibe from the likes of The Lion King, except the fact that, well, obviously, I don't think that we come across into these skull-like elephant structure, I suppose. But either way, though, that might be a discussion in a later time. So either way, I think something tells me there's going to be an instant death moment here and there. Like, for instance, we're about to get chased by the Forms of that particular fiery boulder right there. So we have to get away from it, because otherwise, if we dare touch it, we'll die instantly. So yeah, and it's even bad enough there's some more puzzle pieces to the mix, and yeah, we did take a death right there, so that's pretty much expected, especially because I was trying to able to do a bit of a scavenger hunt for, you know, trying to find those remaining puzzle pieces. But again, luckily if you do manage to obtain one, you don't have to obtain them again, because obviously if you see them like transparent look, then you don't have to re-grab it again. So speaking of such, there's another one there, which I supposedly enough, I was expecting that will happen, but of course I did die afterwards though, just because, you know, that particular fiery boulder thing is pretty dang fast. And it's even, annoyingly enough though, is about the fact that it's always at the very end of, well, I don't know about you, because it's been about 2 days ago since we've actually last played this game. Because, you know, as for this point in time, to be honest, she's now on to the halfway point in Metroid Fusion, as you can tell. And yeah, you have to roll attack from here to get the end right there. Now, I suppose getting a G is going to be later on, though, so we'll able to grab that immediately afterwards, though. So either way, though, something tells me there's a puzzle piece right up there, which I did somehow miss, so yeah, unfortunately though, we have to take another death, so oh jeez. Anyway, so a few things we want to explain for this point today while this is happening. Well, today's date is of course the 17th of May today, in this case in 2023 today. So in some cases though, I apologize for that particular awkward commentary from this point, folks. But that's just because, well, recently that me and Mighty just did somehow have some Marmite toast for breakfast. So because of this though, yeah, I was expecting for this much, especially concerning that well, exponentially also that we also have ourselves our delicious lunch as well. So, because of that though, about the fact that I think this is where the point where... Oh, nice. So I think we've only got 2 puzzle pieces left. In fact, the other one is just right there. Oh, come on! That particular thing just blocks our way! Ah, that's a bit redundant. Anyway, we'll try again, I suppose. And it's even bad enough about the fact that we don't have Diddy Kong with us. So, because of that though, we just can't simply able to beat this level at a bit of an easier side. Especially because of all that. Well, you know what I mean, not enough room to able to go for this point, so, but that's just a way of how this is concerned, so I suppose I should probably also mention about this as well, is that recently, KepKing74, he's now finally recently finished up with his Let's Play of Plants vs. Zombies, and by that time, he did manage to able to tackle through every single levels in the game, including all the survival modes, as well as the forms of every single mini-games, and that's saying goes, I think that's as far as I can think about it. So, something tells me there's the last puzzle piece right down there. So, because of that though, hooray! We've now got every single puzzle pieces in this level, so I don't have to go for this whole entire level again, so... Hoo-wee! That was something else. So anyways, let's go ahead and get rid of the tar, and we'll go ahead and shake the Wiimote as fast as humanly possible to get even more banana coins. So, how's that for that? So I think exponentially we can now move on to the forms of a boss fight, believe it or not. Especially that once we're able to completely done with this... Wait a minute. Oh, this thing crumbles, so we can't go through here. Okay, so there are 2 more levels we need to go through. So, yeah, because of this though, this is the reason why we did say that this world is by far the longest of the bunch. So here we go on to World 6-7, Tippy Shippy. So because of that though, yeah, we still got a whole ways to go. And even, weirdly enough, the temple level does not activated just yet either. So this meaning about the fact that we have to go into the opposite way to the forms of the boss fight and all that stuff. So, ah, dang it, I think I messed up for that jump. Oh well, no big deal I guess, especially concerning about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, we're getting very close towards the end of this world, so... But anyway, yeah, as a result that he did manage to able to, like, you know, tackle for every single stages in the game, including buddy forms in the mini-games, and the survival mode, and, overall he did have a really good time playing the game again, because after all, he did play it on PC Steam version, because I almost assumed about the fact he's probably going to play on the iPhone devices, but somehow the PC version is probably the most, popular version as far as I can tell. Well, mind you about the fact I don't exactly know how to play the forms of their particular games like this. Although, if I remember, that Sonic did actually taught me something. That basically, he used to have the DS version back in the day, but he barely played it. Mainly because about the fact he prefers playing it on the, iPhone devices, including PC Steam nowadays. I mean, sure, that might be a little bit of a possibility, it's like, well, I don't know. So, with that being said though, is about the fact that since, if you guys even remember, ever since about last Friday, the same day as when The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out, because of that though, we've obviously already got ourselves Super Shadow now, on the likes of Sonic Dash. And as a result of that kind of stuff though, much like the forms of, let's say, Popstar Amy, alongside with Rockstar Rouge, obviously we still need to collect about 1,000 of those events tokens in order to able to unlock the character. Well, at least we've already did it, back in the forms of around the same day as The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom finally gets it delivered, because obviously every time whenever we wait something to be delivered, and obviously about the fact that we did manage to play through a bit on Sonic Dash for a bit, until when the actual game finally arrives, alongside with the posters itself as well. Although then again, I was originally trying to able to get the Amiibo with it, along with the forms of the Switch Pro controller with the forms of Tears of the Kingdom as well. But truth be told though, I think we've got enough controllers as it is. So, I mean, would be nice though, but either way, I think we've already got enough controllers as it goes by. So, anywho though, and by the way, something worth noting for is that this particular level does remind me of something almost entirely related to, let's say, Crazy Candidate level from the likes of Pac-Man World. because obviously if you couldn't tell about the fact that in order to go from one place to the other, as you can tell, you have to wait until when these little pop-up turrets is able to actually just to show up. And because of that though, if you time your jumps wrongly, then obviously you will fall off and die. So either way though, it does kind of remind me of, let's just say, not only Crazy Candidate from the likes of Pac-Man World, but also with the forms of Wing Fortress level from the likes of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and even especially noticeable with Aero Base Zone from the likes of Sonic Pocket Adventure as well. So yeah, that's as far as I can usually try to able to reference something for those three games combined. So anyway, so there's another bonus area right down there, and we're going back into shifty platforms like these. So, and in fact, fundamentally speaking, though, it's about the fact I'm pretty sure that we've almost gone towards the end in terms of the forms of the bonus areas throughout. Well, that wasn't exactly whatever we get to later on, though, I must be quite frank for this point. So, anyways, let's get that another puzzle piece right over there, so we should be all good to go. And fundamentally speaking though, despite we did die occasionally due to the forms of that particular mistimed jumps and all the other jazz, but I'm sure enough though, we pretty much did this okay enough. So, is there a puzzle piece in here? Nope, it isn't. So it's just bananas and banana coins essentially. So, I honestly don't mind about it too much, to be perfectly quite frank. Especially concerning about that, I think something tells me the last puzzle piece is gonna be, I would say by the end of a level, I'm presuming so. Like, mind you, about the fact that we got able to still need to be, like, so precise with all that jumps and all that stuff, but straight to the point, that's what I can really think about it. So, okay, so what we need now is just a G, and that will be about it. So, anyway though, aside from all that stuff though, it's about the fact that recently during the Forms event today, basically we managed able to get into the actual beginning portion of the Forms of the next tour in Mario Kart Tour. That's what appears to be the Mii Tour has recently begun. And because of that though, about the fact that, now despite the fact that during the Forms event the yesterday's Bowser Tour, that, you know, with the ending conclusion at the end, basically, we were expecting to able to get ourselves Gold Dry Bowser, but unfortunately though, that particular character is locked out behind that stupid tier system, and let me tell you, I'm just suck at the forms of the tier system. I mean, no matter what, how many times I try it, but as a result, it just keeps on letting me go into below, like, third or second, or I think the only way you can get Golden Dry Bowser, as far as I've noticed, is that you have to get onto, like, second or first. But I tried that, and next thing you notice is about the fact that our points is still rather low, and on top of that, we're pretty much useless with the tier system. Like, I still hate this system. Anyways, let's move on to World 6-8, which is Cliff Top Climb. Oh geez, something tells me we actually need to able to keep on climbing upwards before the entire place is about to crumble, so yeah, that's just a way of saying it, I guess. So anyways though, for what I've managed able to play, not just by the forms of, I think something tells me with that banana bunch down there, it pretty much leads me to the bonus area, I'm pretty sure. But first off, let me go ahead and activate the drum, so just in case we're able to get the first puzzle piece over there. And on top of that, we'll grab another banana coin. And yeah, with that banana bunch down there, yep, I know it, because it leads us straight to the bonus area. So, good thing I somehow pay attention to that, because otherwise, if I was to assume that's going to be a troll trap, basically it's about the fact that, well, I don't know about you, because again, it's been about 2 days ago, so. But I digress. So, another thing I should probably also mention about this as well is that whenever I managed able to, like, you know, finally get a chance to play the forms of the Mario Kart Tour variation of the forms of Mushroom Bridge, I'm gonna say, it is nice to be able to be back on that particular stage once again, especially after the events of not only Mario Kart Double Dash, but it's also with the forms of Mario Kart DS variant as well. Although the noticeable difference is there is about the fact that it's kind of like a combination of both versions, but ah, dang it, my enemy bounce jump timing isn't exactly cooperating with me. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to try again, I guess. So anyway though, because yeah, I do really enjoy about the fact that the visual presentation is a massive upgrade compared to the forms of how it does it back in the past, which I'm sure enough though that most people are still pretty much speculating when it comes to the forms of the actual you know, Wave 5 as far as this is concerned. Although about the fact that we still need to wait for it, unfortunately. Mainly like at some point in July as far as they did say. But chances are though, it's kind of hard to tell honestly, because it's bad enough about the fact that this year's E3 is officially cancelled, as you know, and as a result about the fact that, as I mentioned this before, the second half of the year is going to be pretty bare bones, aside from the forms of Pikmin 4 in mind, but either way though, that might be saying something I guess, so... Yeah, because I just felt incredibly bad for, you know, just waiting, and it's just about the fact that I get it because they were able to go for the biggest challenge yet, for when it comes to the forms of our factor. For I've noticed something already from the start that I suppose that Tiana, she obviously forgot to mention about. Well, I think so anyway. That basically the Switch sales is now going down. So because of that though, I just have had some horrible feelings about the fact that the Switch's lifespan might eventually end. Maybe at some point until, oh I don't know, next year or something. Well, it's hard to tell for this point, because obviously with all the speculations and all that stuff just keeps on going and going and going, and it never ends, you know? Alright, so something tells me we get able to... Oh, jeez, that was close. And in fact, no matter what though, we have to do a specific barrel blasting timing, because otherwise, if we time it wrong, they basically will fall off and die. So, either way though, I think... No, that's not what I meant to do right there, because obviously that's not going to help me, so... Ah, jeez. But at least on the upside, we can able to try to get Diddy Kong back again if we keep failing in this part, so at least that's that, so... But, and also we did manage to able to, you know, going on to the Forms of Piranha Plant Cove 3, and, you know, I'm quite pleased about that particular track actually turns out still. Although, mind you, about the fact that, well, I was originally trying to able to explain any other more details about the Forms of the Mii Tour so far, when it comes to the Forms of Mario Kart Tour in mind, but honestly, we'll let Sonic be able to mention more about it, or perhaps even maybe, oh, I don't know, I guess we'll probably be able to save that conversation until we... I'm so sick of that Wii Remote controls. I really am. Although, nothing wrong with it, it's just about the fact that sometimes it feels a bit on a uncooperative side of things, especially because, I swear to God, every time, whenever I was gonna able to, like, you know, as I said before, that if I was trying to blow on something, and as a result of that kind of stuff though, it just instead make me to do a roll attack instead, which I know it seems a bit problematic for some people out there, but honestly, it's just about the fact that how, I've got nothing more to add, so... Oh boy. We're gonna be stuck in here for a while. It's only mainly because if you dare mess up one of those shots, as you can tell, that's a ginormous bottomless pit. So as a result, you know, think of like the Jungle Zone Act 2, for instance, from the likes of the Sega Master System version of Sonic 1. Basically though, if you dare fall off, then it's over. It's a whole giant bottomless pit. And another example of this will have to be buddy forms of, let's say for instance, the HD version of Sonic Unleashed, for the 360 and PlayStation 3 versions, where basically if you keep climbing up into the inside portion of the clock tower in Spagonia Night, and basically if you're able to actually fall off in the highest height, that also counts as instant death. So, which I'm not exactly sure why that's implemented. So, oh shoot! No! Oh, come on! I'm so sick of the forms of, no, I don't want you. I don't need you anymore. Especially because I'm just getting sick of the forms of that irritating, sugar noise or anything else like that when the actual Super Kong guide will be activated during that time. But then again, as I mentioned this before, that if you do activate the Super Kong mode, it completes the level for you, and on top of that, rather than give you a blue space, so instead it gives us a red space, you know, similar to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, alongside with I would say New Super Mario Bros. U as well. And I don't think it's going to be a thing on New Super Luigi U, because at the very least in New Super Luigi U, doesn't seem able to have the Super Guide feature, surprisingly. And on top of all that stuff though, during forms of the, let's just say another example of this is that if you do manage to use the assist block in New Super Mario Bros. 2 with the White Raccoon power-up, Basically, it's about the fact that it kind of does the same effect as the Super Guide feature in the new Super Mario Bros. Games, where basically it's about the fact that if you use the White Raccoon power-up in any level in New Super Mario Bros. 2, you obviously get yourselves the, well, you know what I mean, the red space instead of the blue space. I think something tells me... Oh, come on! How does that count? Ah, screw you. Ah... Because I'm sure there was actually a last puzzle piece to be around on that particular cactus bit. Oh jeez, this might take a while for this point, folks. Especially mainly because, well, again, you have to be so perfection on this, because otherwise, if we keep messing things up, then not only will we able to drain a lot of lives fast, but also about the fact that we just have to able to make sure we need to time our shots perfectly. And then, at the very least, we got all the Kong letters at least, so that's that, so... Alright, so... No. Okay, now we're back in this point again. There we go, that's more like it. Oh, jeez. It doesn't matter if we get hit. Oh, nice, we got ourselves a DK symbol as soon as we got hit, so that should be alright. Thank goodness that particular level's finished, mainly at the end section, for instance, so I guess that's that. So, with that being said, I think we need to head back onto the previous 3 levels as far as I'm concerned. So, meaning about the fact that I get the strong sense of feeling there's only one puzzle piece, or generally speaking, when it comes to 2 levels, there's only 1 puzzle piece left, and 2 puzzle pieces left in 1 level. So, yeah, I guess as far as I can say about it. Yeah. Oh, so that's what it was. Good thing you always keep an eye on them, Mighty, for some situations. Yeah, exactly. So let's go and head back on to Boulder Roller, and I get strong feelings at the beginning. And sure enough, it is at the beginning, because as far as I'm aware, for that particular skull-like barrel, that actually leads us to the bonus area, which I think that's where it's at. So, I honestly do not realize that I somehow accidentally skipped that particular bonus area by complete mistake. Well, that's mainly because I was paying attention to the forms and trying to focusing on, you know, all of the Kong letters as far as this is concerned. So either way though, yeah, I think we're most able to say this right now. Once we get to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, we're hoping we're not going to miss out on any other bonus areas as far as I'm concerned. Well, mind you, it might be pretty tough though, as far as I can definitely tell. So either way though, let's grab all the collectibles here, and there we go. We finally managed to get the final puzzle piece in Boulder Roller. So yeah, I guess that's all been sorted for this point. Alright, so now let's head back on to the forms of World 6-5. Now, originally, I was expecting to try to able to get to the actual cutting point of the ending portion of the level, but as it turns out, that in order to able to actually get not only the 4th puzzle piece, but also the final one as well, you have to rely on Rambi himself, like almost every single portions of it. Like, for instance, we've already saw about the fact that we couldn't actually able to actually access to the forms of that particular 4th puzzle piece because it only requires Rambi in order to able to get to this point. Now, on top of all that stuff, though, is about the fact that in order to able to actually get that 5th and final puzzle piece on this level, not only do you have to collect all of the bananas, but I get the strong sense of feeling you do need to also kill the, certain enemies as well, I guess? Well, mind you, I haven't exactly thought about it until now. And potentially speaking though, because the reason why on the first attempt of this particular stage, that we've accidentally lose our Rambi companion, but that's just because about the fact that we try to get an N, and also because of the bad timing for the jumps. So, yeah, that's how I was going to be thinking about it. So, either way, and plus this level is going to be super duper quick, assuming of course if you have yourselves a good timing with your jumps and such. So anyway, there's our 4th puzzle piece right there. It only requires Rambi to get there. And on top of that, we need to go ahead and deal with these things right here. And just simply collect every single collectibles at this point in time. So either way, so you have to avoid the fiery enemies as far as you can see on screen, because obviously if you get hit by the actual fiery object enemies, all these fiery spiky like tikis, then basically though is about the fact you lose Rambi, and I believe you're able to get hit as well. So there we go. Oh wait, so potentially we're able to get our extra life back, because if you couldn't tell already, we seriously almost run out of lives almost. Well, Well, at least we still got a plentiful of them, I must be quite honest for this point. So either way, that pretty much takes care of the forms of those remaining puzzle pieces on 3 levels once again, and straight to the point about the fact that I believe we've almost finishing up with the forms of the entire cliff world so far. So now we can hit on to, without a doubt, is, in my opinion, the hardest temple level in the entire game. That's what appears to be World 6-K, Perilous Passage. Now, here's the thing about this level right here. Normally about the fact that you were expecting that you get Diddy Kong in this level, well, it doesn't. So because of this though, as you can tell about the fact that, well, this particular stage involves around you get away from the entire lava right there. And if you dare fall into the lava, it's instant death. So because of this though, that is definitely, is without doubt, the hardest temple level in the entire game, in my opinion. And it's even worse of all, though, is that there is that very annoying enemy in the game that basically trying to hinder you. Well, it's not so bad from here, because all you have to do is basically you have to dodge those little crazy, like, stuff, as far as you can see. Although, mind you, they all likely in lava and stuff like that. So, either way, still 5 puzzle pieces are pretty easy to manage to obtain, assuming if you pay attention to the forms of those well-hidden alcoves. So, either way, though, that's not to say that's not even the worst part. The worst part about this stage, to me, though, is these stupid electrical insect-like enemies. You can't hit them, because otherwise, if you dare touch them, it gets you electrocuted right there. So because of that though, these are the worst enemies in the entire game for me. That's just because for only in one level alone, and it's even worse is that when you get towards the end, basically you have to rely on the forms of those 2 springy contraptions, and basically not only do you have to avoid those like let's just say by the forms of those fiery mole-like enemies as far as I'm concerned, but also you need to avoid that stupid electrical bug at the same time, because obviously if you get hit, well, there's hardly doubt that you will be able to get a lot of, like, not only life strainers, but also potentially gonna get a game over if you keep on getting hit by the forms of that stupid electrical bug. But as soon as time comes, then obviously we did this on the first attempt. So, because I can imagine, I did manage to play this on my own time for a bit on the practice file, or generally in my own regular main file, that basically these guys are the most annoying enemies in the game, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, because of that though, yeah, thankfully we did somehow complete it on the first try, so... Anyway, that pretty much takes care of that. So now it's going to move on to the boss in the cliff world. So I wonder what the boss fight is it going to be this time. So something tells me it could be something more similar to the first world's boss fight if I recall. So here we go on to World 6-B, Fugly's High Rise. So either way though, that's as far as I can usually think about it. So either way, yeah, not much else to say about this for this point. I mean, after all, the good thing about the beginning portion of the level, that basically, as usual, we get our DK barrels. So, anyways, let's blast off. So it's basically a recolored version of the first world boss fight, so except the fact that it makes this boss fight a bit tougher, especially because as you can see, that his back thing is now covered up its weak spot. So obviously the boss battle remains the same as the first boss fight, except now it takes place in a different setting or a different environment, which is obviously in the Cliff Canyon. And on top of that though, is that he does have some more attacks to his disposal, unlike the first boss fight is actually super duper easy in my opinion. But sure enough though, it's about the fact that potentially speaking though, once you're able to stomp on him for about 9 hits or so, then you should probably deal with the boss fight okay enough. So as a result, not much else to it for this boss fight, even though it can be felt a bit tricky at times, mainly because of the forms of the attack pattern. And on top of all that stuff though, with all that, you know, things itself in mind. And I think something tells me is that once he's on to the different color, basically we can now move on to a different structure arena, which obviously it does kind of reminds me of, oh jeez, I forgot about that flamethrower thing he just pulls off. But either way though, as soon as he does that, your chance to able to actually stomp on him, so yeah, it's basically the first boss fight, except now it's even a lot harder, so yeah, I guess that makes a pretty obvious sense for the challenge. Even though it kind of does the same thing from the likes of the forms of, well, it's kind of hard to explain really, because I haven't exactly played platformers for quite some time, because obviously we're still playing Tears of the Kingdom after all, so, but either way though, still, you can probably get the gist of it, so, alright, duck. And in fact, kind of think about it though, this particular boss fight does remind me of something related to one of those boss fights in Kirby's Return to Dreamland in the 4th world. That basically does about the fact that every time we move on to the next phase, basically we always have to go downwards to the different arena design. So I guess that makes a pretty obvious sense, kind of think about it. So yeah, you have to make sure you need to able to dodge a lot of his fireball breathing attacks, and that's all there is to it, so alright, we're not doing too bad, all things considered. And thus this boss fight is a bit longer than the forms of how it does on the first boss fight, because you can just simply take down the first boss fight in a quicker pace if possible. Oh, and occasionally whenever he does that, the boulders will attempt to drop down too, so you have to also need to avoid those. So, but regardless of everything else though, yeah, that's not much else to say about this boss fight. It's just basically, it's like almost like a twin brother from the likes of the forms of Mugly, from the likes of the forms within the first world, so not much else to say about this, so, and boom, he's down. And with that, the 6th world has been completed, so as a result, oh jeez. Well, there goes that. And sure enough, we can able to take down this Tiki thing right here. Which again, I'll point things out what the names are until the next video. So let's beat the likes out of him. And something tells me it's still once again 22 hits. At least as far as I can remember. So either way though, let's see. Yep, still 22 hits. So nothing changes from here. So I guess that makes it pretty obvious for the sake of like none of those changes to, you know, number of hits for that particular point right there. And with that, the Cliff World is completed. In this case, the hardest world in the game in my opinion. So at the very least, we completed it, regardless. So with that said, we got the endings up here. So join us next time for more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Country Returns. Is that we're going to be hit on to, without a doubt, is probably one of my favorite worlds in the game, which appears to be the Factory World. So I'll see you guys on Friday. Later, dudes. See you guys then.